What's up, my friends? Welcome to the channel. I'm Scotty James, and this is the Hellraisin Hellraiser channel. We are all about having fun and raising hell in my 2020 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack Widebody and my 1994 25th anniversary Pontiac Trans Am. Now guys, in today's video, we're going to be installing front and rear strut tire braces on the Hellraiser from BMR Suspension. And after we get them installed, we're going to take you all for a test drive and see how they work. So let's get to it. Alright guys, let's take a look at everything we're going to need to do this job. It's a pretty straightforward and simple job, so we're not going to need too much to do it. To start with, you're going to need some kind of pry tool to pop off the front strut tire caps. Now I recommend some kind of plastic tool so you don't scratch the paint underneath the caps. For the front strut mount nuts, you're going to need either a 3/8 drive ratchet or a 3/8 drive impact wrench to make your life a little easier. You'll probably want to use some kind of extension, and you'll need a 13mm socket for the nuts. You're also going to need a decent floor jack to help get the front strut tire studs lined up with the brace. And once we get into the installation, I'll show you how we're going to do that. To install the rear strut tire brace, you are going to have to remove some pieces of the carpet, and you're also going to have to make some cuts in the side pieces of the carpet. So for that, you're going to want some kind of nice razor utility knife, make sure it's sharp. Some scissors might help as well. And to pop out the pins to remove the carpet, you're going to want some kind of pry tools like these. And also on the very rear two pieces, there's a plastic wing nut, but there's also an 11mm hex head on it that you can use this socket for to loosen it. For the rear strut tire nuts, you're going to want a 15mm socket. And once you've got everything installed and snugged down, you're going to want to torque the nuts down with a torque wrench. And that's all you're going to need to do this job, guys. So let's get to work, starting with the front. Alright guys, I went with the strut tire braces from BMR. Let's see what's in the box, and then I'll show you why I went with them. BMR strut tire brace. Of course I went with the standard black. I went with BMR because, as you can see, it's pretty damn beefy. And I'll be honest, out of all the ones I looked at, the BMR looked to be the easiest to install. And it got a couple good reviews on some videos I saw. And it definitely is heavy, man. And I think it's really going to stiffen the car up pretty nicely. We're going to do the front first, and then we'll do the back. Okay guys, first step for any strut tire bar for the front, you're going to want to take these strut tire caps off. Now I won't be able to use the factory caps once I get the strut bar mounted on there. But I do got something to take care of that I think you guys will like, and I'll show you that after we get the bar on. Alright, after you pop the strut tire caps off, you're going to want to remove the 3 nuts that hold the shock in place. Alright, once the caps and the nuts are removed, it's time to put the strut bar on. Now shout out to OMG Mr. Mac. He made a video of this, and he showed us a nice little trick that you can use to get these to line up properly. And it's real easy. You just jack up one side of the car until the bolts go in place, and you tighten them down. And I'll show you how we're going to do that right now. So shout out to OMG Mr. Mac for showing us this trick. I know there's guys that have taken hammers to their shit and everything, and I'm not about to do that. So let's jack up the one side and see if we can get it to line up. Now you just want to jack it up just enough to get those to line up. If you jack it up too much, the shock will fall out of the mount, and you don't want that to happen. Bam guys, lined right up. Thank you Mr. Mac. We're going to put a link to his channel in this video that I got this from down below, so you guys can check it out. I give credit where credit is due. And now all you have to do is put the nuts back on, and then I'll show you what we're going to do in place of the caps. Okay guys, here's the factory mounting nut, and here's the new mounting nut that came from BMR. I'm going to go with the new mounting nuts because if you look, the factory one has kind of a thick washer before you even start to engage the threads. This one still has a bit of a washer on the edge. It's also got a serrated bottom to help keep it in place, and you'll reach the thread sooner. Because you have this extra thickness here now from the strut bar, you're not going to engage as many threads with the factory nut. We're going to snug them down with a ratchet just to get the strut mount plates seated properly, and then we'll torque them down with the torque wrench. Okay, now that the nuts are all snugged down, we're going to torque them with the torque wrench. According to the BMR installation instructions, we're going to torque them to 27 foot-pounds. Alright guys, in place of the factory plastic strut tower caps, we've got these beautiful black anodized billet strut tower caps from Billet Technologies. These large caps are for the center of the strut tower and they screw onto the top of the shock rod. And these smaller ones are for the shock tower mounting nuts. So let's put them on, guys. Well guys, I ran into a little problem when I tried to screw on these smaller caps. There's not enough of the stud sticking up for them to screw on. But I think I found a solution. I've got these little rubber grommets. Don't ask me where they came from. I dug them out of my toolbox. But I think they're gonna fit up in there, and then I'll be able to get a nice snug fit over the nut. Plus it'll help seal it even better than the O-ring. So let's try it and see how it works. All right, I got the little grommets in there. Now we're gonna put them over the nuts and see how they fit. They're pretty tight, guys. I don't think they're going anywhere. So if you do end up getting any of these caps from Billet Technologies and you have a strut tower brace installed, keep in mind that extra thickness probably won't let you screw these on, but you can use some kind of rubber grommet in there or something to get them to fit over the nuts. Okay guys, now we're going to install the large one. It comes with a rubber washer and a stainless steel washer. BMR says put the stainless steel washer on first, then put the rubber washer on, and then screw the cap on. Alright guys, the front is done. Let me know what you think. I think that looks pretty good. A lot better than leaving all the nuts and studs exposed for sure. Okay guys, let's open the box for the rear strut bar and see what's in there. Hey guys, this one's only a single bar, but it's real beefy. It's almost twice the size as the other one. But I think it's gonna be real heavy duty. Like I said, I got good reviews online. The welds look good, finish looks good. Of course, I got black on this one too. Looks pretty good, guys. Let's get it on the car. Okay guys, the first step on the BMR instructions said to put the back seats down. So we've done that. Then we're going to take out this bottom piece of carpet, which is actually Velcroed to the back seat carpet. Now that I've lifted the back seat carpet off the bottom carpet, I can take out the bottom carpet. Next, we're going to take out these push pins. There's one on the top. There's one down the bottom in the back of the trunk here. Seems like the bottom one's broke, but the top ones are okay. There's one last retaining nut on each side on the back of the trunk. It's a wing nut with a hex head, but it's kind of tight. So I'm going to take an 11mm socket and loosen it. Now the BMR instructions say to cut a vertical slit in line with the strut tower and strut tower brace until you get to the level of the brace and make a horizontal incision. And that way you can slide the carpet right over the bar. I'd rather not cut all the way through the carpet. I know that OMG, it's Mr. Mac, he just put a horizontal slit in there so he didn't have to take the carpet off all the way and it was a cleaner fit. We're going to try to do that and see how it works because I'd like to tear up the carpet as little as possible. So let's pull this carpet away and see what we have. You can see you just got two studs sticking up. We won't have to remove anything. We'll just put the bar over those studs and we'll tighten them down with the hardware provided with the bar. Now the tricky part is getting the cut in the right place so I don't have to mess with this carpet so much. So let's get to that. Might be easier to cut the insulation with some scissors. Alright, let's see if we can slide the strut bar in with the slits we made already. Hopefully we won't have to cut it anymore, but we'll cut what we need. I think I'm gonna have to undo these front clips too. We got the bar on the studs, both sides. Definitely a little bit of pain to get it on there. Now we should be able to get the nuts on, tighten it down, and rearrange the carpet. Alright guys, the washers they supply, you're going to want to put the flat side down. There's an indentation on the top that the nut fits in, and that's how they go. Okay, now we'll go to the other side. Snug goes down, make sure everything fits. We'll tighten them down and we'll torque them with the torque wrench. Okay guys, according to the instructions from BMR, proper torque on these nuts is 35 foot-pounds. Alright guys, now it's time to put the carpet back in place. Alright guys, the side carpet's back in place. You can see this side I cut a little too far back, but it is a lot cleaner than the left side. A little too far back, but I don't know, it's just not seating in there very well. The strut bar looks pretty good, man. It hugs the top of the trunk, so you really don't lose any storage space to speak of, really. So that's pretty good. Alright guys, let's get the bottom piece of carpet back in and we'll be all done. Alright guys, we're all done. The rear strut brace is installed. Alright guys, let's go for a test drive into Hellraiser with the new strut tower braces. We'll let you know how they perform. Of course, we got to put it in track mode, traction off. Yeah, the whole car just feels tighter, even when it shifts. Alright guys, we're going to take it up here through a few twisties, see how it feels. Guys, I've taken these curves a lot, and that's way tighter than it was before. Yeah guys, this definitely feels like a different beast now. Oh yeah, this car is definitely tighter now. This track mode is definitely way tighter than it was before. The car's a lot more neutral through the turns. And it's just a blast to drive now. Alright guys, we're going to put everything back in street mode. See how the ride quality is. I mean, even track mode wasn't too bad. You could feel the bumps when the road got bumpy, but it still rode pretty well. There's some bumps there, and it took them pretty smoothly. I would definitely say the strut bars have not ruined the ride at all. Still feels pretty smooth. So yeah, the road's a little bumpy here. We'll see how it feels going over the train tracks. Remember, we're in street mode. Yeah, feels pretty good. Just about as smooth as it always has, I think. Alright guys, we're gonna hit the highway here. See how it feels on the interstate. I'd say it feels pretty smooth, no real vibrations or anything. Yeah guys, I think the highway ride is just as smooth as it always was in street mode. Now we're going to get off of here. We got to get some gas. All right, guys, I think that'll conclude our test drive. The strut tower braces are pretty awesome. Street mode's still smooth. Track mode is even stiffer than it was before. The car handles much more neutrally. Sits in the curves better and handles a lot tighter. Steering's tighter, the whole car feels tighter. So the final verdict is strut tower braces, I believe, are well worth it, guys. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. And if you liked this video and found it helpful, please don't forget to give me a like, comment, and subscribe below. It helps the channel greatly. And I will see you guys next time on the Hellraisin Hellraiser channel.